Hey everybody, so I just wanted to go over some information about Bootsy, or better known as Brendan Castner. So he is on the Cinemassacre Truth, a censorship-free discussion, which is a pretty cool website actually. And I try not to take sides, source material as it is. It's just what I'm using. So come to your own conclusions, that's fine, but I just wanted to kind of show everything that's out there. So the wiki has context of like all the different videos, and of course, one of the biggest things they have here is a picture of Bootsy there. The Cinemaster Truth is actually a really big fan of Bootsy. Also, it talks about once Bootsy left the channel, why didn't he just start up his own gaming channel on YouTube? And that's that's a good question. This was an archive discussion from about a year ago. People go into discussing why he didn't do that. He already had a lot of subs. He had the capability for a lot of subs, and he really could have started out just immediately. He's got a Twitter account, and the theories are that he's not a gamer. Well, I think he is. He may not be really as much into games as, say, Mike Matei, but I think he is a gamer. He's pretty good. Now, question is, does he like music more than games? So this, you can feel free to pause and kind of read this as I'm going down, but I'm not going to read all of it. But this page actually talks about his other media presence, and which is his Twitter account. So I'll go into that later, but I'm not going to stick into some of the language here. I try to keep everything really, really positive, which, I feel like most people do, but occasionally you get posts that are a little bit edgy. So one of the things that last page showed was he mentions on his Twitter his Bootsy Beats and some of his interactions that he did solo with Cinemassacre. And people ask, why is he mentioning that recurringly yet being so quiet about what happened? And I had one person even said aloof in terms of not talking or interacting with the fans when they asked what happened. Well, honestly, it's probably a raw wound, and he doesn't want to talk about it. And nobody can really fault him. So it's just like myself. I had a really good friend in college, and they moved on. I moved on, but occasionally you talk about it, right? It's just human. So, but this is one of his more famous videos, and I've talked about this in other videos. It's his Battletoads series, and he does, I think, 4 videos, could be more. But he goes through how to beat it, and it's a pretty tough game. So I think he does it in a really academic way, and he talks about the theory and the execution rather than just showing you how to play right off the bat, which is pretty cool. And it's also a really clean video, which I was impressed with. But going out of the past, there's well, this is still kind of the past. He's got his a wiki source material here for the AVGN Wiki, and it talks about him. And the hard questions are kind of not on there, but it's a good little resource there. And if you wanted to go there, it's on avgn.fandom.com/wiki/Brendan Castner, full name. So, and then he goes by Bad Luck Bootsy, which is from his Board James series, which everybody likes. The eye patch is classic. It looked like they were all having a really good time there, so that's a good memory. And it goes into his personality and how he's kind of a goofball in the show and all that good stuff. But it really, went over well with fans. So it's definitely worth having its own wiki page on AVGN Wiki. Bootsy also has an IMDb, and it's funny because it looks like he actually checked it, because it says recently viewed Brendan. I thought that was funny. Maybe he updated his own stuff, but he's got all the different things on there going up to Board James, and he's got, apparently he was in the Angry Video Game movie. Now, I saw that movie, and if you haven't seen it and you're a big fan of AVGN, it's worth watching. Now, if you aren't a fan of AVGN, I don't know if you'd be able to sit through it. It's pretty tough, but it's fun. This kind of goes into my next segment here. He talks about music department. So I don't know if he did any music with AVGN, but he's really into music, as a lot of us know. Going away from all of this into the kind of the future, if you will, or the present, Reddit mentioned that he is very active on Twitter. And he is. He's got a couple pages, actually. He's got Bad Luck Bootsy, which is a throwback to AVGN Board James, and really BL Bootsy. And so I actually don't have Twitter. I think I used it before, but I don't. But it's all available online. He doesn't have it locked down, so you can just look. And he likes to do stuff. He's got Grand Canyon. He went there. He talks about stuff he's done. He talks about like, oh, I left my AirPods somewhere. It's pretty cool. You get to interact with him, follow what he's doing. He's a big sports fan. And then also, it's kind of a knife on the side there. It's got the AVGN on the side. So he's got this, and he's got over 17,000 followers. That's a lot of people. I mean, it's not as much as some of these really famous people that you're seeing, like 50,000 to a million or more, but that's nothing to shake a finger at. he referenced it. So he's in New Jersey right now. He's been on here since back before he left AVGN. And it shows his website, bootsyspankinspi.com, which I'll go to. Now, it's good to source to that site directly from this site, or if you know the URL. If you Google it, Bootsy Spankin is actually kind of dangerous to Google, so just to keep you in the know there. But yeah, that's his site. And then he's also got Bootsy Spankin's PI, and it has less followers, but he's on there too, and he's talking more about his music here, and he's got his dry humor is kind of funny too. Now streaming wherever music is streamed, so it's like really vague, but you can tell he's having a good time with it. I appreciate that at least, and I hope everybody else does too. Last but not least is his website. So if you haven't seen this, I thought it was really well done and pretty cool. He's got Bootsy Spankin's PI, and then there's just kind of his call sign for his music stuff, and then he's got an unpaid intern of pop. So he does have a wittiness when it comes to how our hobbies are very, very seldom do we get money from them. But at the same time, he's in a pretty tough industry. Music is really tough. You know, you're either huge or you're not, right? So, but I'm going to walk through the site just so we can all see it. And he's got a little sound grab here, if you want to listen to that. And then he goes through several different links. He's got news, and again, more with the dry humor. It's been a very long time. Sorry if you look to the site for constant updates. And then he says something nice about, COVID and all that, because COVID is affecting everybody. In fact, I started this channel because of COVID. I wanted to really cathartically speak about what's going on. But he talks about music, and everything he does, it kind of ties back to music. And he mentions his mom and dad a lot, which is pretty cool. So he probably has a good relationship with his family. And at the bottom, it says at 2020 arcade keyword music. I won't say what it is. I don't want YouTube to get mad at me. But look at that. It's pretty funny. So he's got more of his music. You can listen to it. It's a pretty neat picture. I wonder if that's a photo he took. But he's got some of his stuff on here. It's pretty eclectic. I don't default to this type of music, but it's not bad. It's really good. He's got videos and whatnot. So he's he's got his media presence. And obviously a huge fan of Philadelphia. He's got a store. So I will open that tab and go to that after this. I don't want to break my continuity here. And it looks like he's also got, let me open Facebook, YouTube. There's a cloud link, and we've already been to Twitter. And then let's look at his Instagram. And then he has his contact. So you can straight up, email him if you want to, which is pretty cool. It's really hard to get responses to some of these folks because they've got a lot going on. He probably gets a million emails. So don't take it personally if he doesn't respond. Going on to his merch, he's got, oh wow, it's sold out. That's pretty good. So he has his own merch line. For anybody that's really worried about him and upset that he left AVGN, he could be doing better, honestly. Who knows? Sold out. Pretty affordable stuff. His CDs are about $10. I feel like CDs have always been $10. 10, 15, 20 years ago, they were still $10. He's got his music, and man, he's got a bunch of stuff now. And look at this. I wonder if he drew this. Very artistic guy. Also, he's got his community, so all this stuff kind of ties back into his other social media outlets. It's a lot of stuff. So when you look at this and you wonder, we started off the video with Reddit saying, well, why doesn't he have his own video game following and his own retro video game plays? Well, he may not have time to do that. That's a lot of work. And he said it before on his Twitter. I won't find it now, but feel free to look it up if you don't believe me. He said it takes a lot of time to do that stuff, and I don't blame him. A lot of the legwork was done with AVGN. They kind of said, hey, just interact with this video and you're good, right? And just play. So anyway, he's got a lot of stuff going for him, and he's doing pretty well, it looks like. Obviously, he's busy. If he did all this himself, or if he had somebody do it for him, then more power to him. So here's his Facebook, Bootsy Spankin's PI. So he likes the detective alias. And he makes it, he really likes this food image where it kind of looks like a really bum meal that you get out of the freezer section of the store. And pretty cool. So he's got his Facebook page. He got a little bit of a following there. I think his original Twitter, Bad Luck Bootsy, has the most follows, but his Facebook page, he still has a decent number of followers. I don't think I've ever gotten. Of course, I don't personally like Facebook, so more power to you if you're on there a lot. But it looks like this is kind of just an extra thing that he does, and then it goes back to his website. So he's got a good circular rhythm with his social media, which is important. And there you go. You got his YouTube. I'm probably going to listen to this stuff later, but there you go. You got some songs, and you have all kinds of stuff that you can. William Shatner live. So it looks like he likes William Shatner. I like William Shatner too. So maybe he's a Trekkie. I don't know. I might have to ask him if my videos get big enough. Okay, so then he's got his SoundCloud. So I think all this stuff you can buy stuff. So he's got, yeah, he's got a lot of stuff on here. SoundCloud with a bunch of his singles and individual tracks. It's like I think you can buy the whole track on there. And then he's got Board James. So he made some of the music for Board James. It looks like. So it looks like he's making a decent amount of comeuppance in this. You know, maybe he left with a lot of things that were instrumental to Board James' success, and I didn't realize he put music into this stuff, but he probably did do a lot of the music for AVGN, which kind of ties into Kyle left. People are curious about that. I don't know if I'm going to do a video on that, but maybe there were too many cooks in the kitchen, and that stuff happens too, you know. And that's speculation. I'm not really going off any facts there, but you do see the Board James music, so that's interesting. I really like this picture. It's pretty cool. And then we've got your pal Boots, and he has yet another he's got another social media presence. That's Instagram. So he's got over 1,000 followers. That's not too bad, but it looks like it's kind of an afterthought, and he has more focus on that. I'm gonna go back to it. Bad Luck Bootsy Twitter. That's a big healthy following compared to other stuff. 17.9 thousand followers. And then he's got that's his face. Pretty cool. The original Blockbuster, or like the last Blockbuster rather. And I like these eclectic pictures. They're pretty cool. So you got to wonder. Oh, it's telling me to sign up. Now I do have an account on Instagram, but I don't want to sign in right now. So, but anyway, that's how Bootsy's kind of doing his sites, his social media presence. Feel free to follow him if you want. Keep track of him. Give him likes. Give him ideas. Make him feel good. He seems like he's doing pretty good, and I couldn't be happier to see that. Just wanted to share that. Again, no negative focus on this. I want everybody to succeed, especially with everything going on in the world. But anyway, thanks everybody. Hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to like and subscribe, and let me know if you have any interest in seeing anything else that I can study.